Hello, everybody. So, what I have for you today is that I had received a word from the Lord about 3 months ago, and the word was Lithuania. So, I'll show you in the community post where I put it. Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing good. I wanted to give you an update on a word I got. I had posted it in the community section. I have it here 3 months ago because I realized that I hadn't been writing things down enough. So I did get a word 3 months ago and I wrote it down. And so I have it here. And basically what I heard was I just kept hearing the word Lithuania. And I didn't know anything about it. I looked a little bit of it up. It borders Belarus and it's part of NATO. And that's all he gave me. I had absolutely no idea, but I know that he was saying, watch Lithuania. So now, 3 months later, it's looking very significant. This is where the NATO summit is taking place on July 11th. And the reason it's very important is because it's going to be the center of world tension in relation to Russia and Ukraine and NATO and the countries that are at war right now. So as we're watching for the Lord, I think it's very important to remember that part of the scriptures that relate to to the rapture, has to do with sudden destruction. And 1 Thessalonians 5:3 talks about that when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction, and then the children of the light have escape, and then the children of darkness do not escape. So it would imply that the rapture would be at the time of sudden destruction. Do we know? Would it be like, right when the bombs come down, we go up, as many have dreamt? I don't know, but I do know that the war that we've been watching for a year and about 5 months is quickly escalating. And what we're dealing with now is that in a few days, on July 11th and 12th, is going to be a NATO summit meeting in Lithuania. So I'm thinking, wow, the Lord wants us to know that this is very significant in relationship to the rapture, I do believe. So the question is, well, there's a lot of theories and there's a lot of lies out there, and Russia blames Ukraine for doing things, and Ukraine blames Russia for doing things that no one knows who did it, like bombing that nuclear plant, the dam, and then they've been threatening to bomb the nuclear plant, Zaporizhia. Of course, they haven't done anything yet. We're still watching this. This is their latest pathetic development of their violent reaction to what God has given them. They rather just destroy everything. So I guess that's what they're going to do, and they will. And I've given you the dreams that I had, that my father worked in NATO when I was little, and then he gave me the dream. God gave me the dream where he said, "Gigi, people have no idea how soon World War III is." That was I think that was in 2019. I did a video on it, but it's not on the channel anymore. So, NATO does not bring countries into membership when they're engaged in a war like Ukraine right now. But, Zelensky really wants to be offered membership into NATO, and they have not done that yet, but they're saying they're going to eventually. But I guess the question is, in a few days, what exactly is going to happen that God is pointing out to us that He really wants our attention on this? Because if typically, while they're engaged in a war, it would be unlikely that they would accept Ukraine. But because they're in the long term planning on it, I believe, Putin, of course, has threatened, once again, nuclear retaliation if they join NATO. So the question is, what is going to happen in a few days? And, ironically, the U.S. has already spent $37.6 billion on weapons and other equipment for Ukraine. But no, NATO's not involved at all in the war, are they? Even though NATO also sends a lot of equipment. So, the whole thing is just, none of it really makes sense, because why are they already helping Ukraine if Ukraine's not part of their club, And so I think we all know that the lies are endless with what they're really doing. And we know too, of course, those of us who are watching and know the Bible, that none of this has anything to do with what you see at face value. It's all behind the scenes, creating World War III. And you remember that movie called World War Z? And you heard of Zaporizhia? So it's all going to set the stage for the beast system and the Antichrist to come on stage and, have the answer. Everyone's going to run to the beast, and he's going to seem to have the answers to everything. So it would have to be at a time of chaos. And, as we see the math pointing to the coming of Christ in 2030, and then you subtract 7 years of tribulation, you have 2023, this year. All the global gatherings and meetings going on are literally off the chart in terms of setting the stage for the financial digital system, the mark of the beast, and setting stage for the World Health Organization. They have evil plans. The World Economic Forum has evil plans. And these countries at war are basically, they're just getting ready to go into nuclear war. It's just a matter of when. It's that simple. And then the world will be destroyed and ready for the Antichrist. So basically, this NATO summit in Lithuania, I think it's going to be pretty pivotal in terms of something major is going to have to change after that meeting. I mean, what could take place there could trigger off a nuclear war immediately, or within days, weeks. I mean, there's so many reasons that it would make sense for it to be this summer, and here they are. everything lines up. Everything lines up right now to the rapture and the war. It's just everything, So anyway, so look up, because our redemption draws nigh. All I know is that this meeting in Lithuania is going to trigger off the nuclear war. It's going to get closer. It's going to make steps to get closer to the nuclear war. Or God wouldn't have showed it to me. There's nothing else going on. That's what it's all about. It's all about World War III. So as we're watching for the Lord, these NATO leaders will discuss Ukraine support and revamp of military plans at summit. That's what they'll be doing, talking about that. And so, Ukraine could get nervous and do something before the meeting because they want to pull NATO in. A surprise attack that no one was expecting. This is possible, and it could be related to the Zaporizhzhia power plant. So anyway, look at it. The world's in a very perilous time, and we're in the last days, and Jesus is coming very soon. And if you're not saved, you're going to be left behind with all these people to lead the world with evil plans. And the only way out is Jesus Christ, by believing the gospel, that he died on the cross. They crucified him and they buried him, and he rose from the dead on the third day, and he shed his blood for your sins and mine, all sins for all time. He made atonement for your sins, that you could be connected back to the Father. He is the only way to heaven, the only name under heaven that a man can be saved by. Jesus Christ, the only way. Yeshua HaMashiach. So get saved before it's too late. If you miss the rapture, then, you can still get saved if you're alive for the tribulation at all. But then you're going to have to give your life for him, and they will take you to your death if you don't take the mark of the beast on the right hand or forehead to buy or sell. Okay, God bless. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.